Hello, my name is Nathaniel Albright. I'm the Director of Respiratory Therapy. I'm here to show you the Respironic Philips V60. So basically this is our BiPAP for the hospital, BiPAP and CPAP. So if we are setting up a BiPAP CPAP on the V60, the main piece of tubing that we use is the RT219. It comes with a cascade that goes on the heater, and it comes with all the tubings and everything you need. The only thing it is lacking is sans a mask. So whether it be an adult, full-faced, nasal, or even a pediatric, this is called the Mini-Me. It fits right into the tip of the exact same tubing, the RT219. You need a bag of sterile water, which will fill the cascade, and you always need a HEPA filter that will go on the inspiratory valve going to the patient. An RT219, you will see it comes with a cascade. The cascade goes on a heater. Same as with a ventilator. It's, you pull out your blue tab. So you have these two ports. Then it comes with a longer tubing. The long tubing connects to, you'll see on the, connects to basically the exhalation port, which, excuse me, this is the port that pumps the air into the patient. So air comes out through here, goes in, gets humidified, and then we have the actual heated wire circuit, which, now we don't want to forget our HEPA filters. Always give our patients clean air. So that'll fit right on here. Okay, so now on the end of this, you can put your BiPAP. So this is a large person, and you have a measurement here, which you can do from the bridge of your nose, and it'll show you what size mask bridge of your nose to the bottom of your lip. So in the RT219 also, there is a valve here. This is called a passive exhalation valve, and it goes between the tubing and the BiPAP mask. And what this does is it allows CO2 to passively be exhaled, so a person's CO2 doesn't rise. So when the mask is on and they're breathing in and out, they're breathing in and out, the CO2 comes out passively through here. Now, on these straps, which go around the head like this, so it'll go around your head. So the foam pieces here, and then it comes around. You have a ball somewhere up here. So the ball clips in. So there's the front. So it goes like that. And then you'll see these straps that come around, and they just have clips to kind of snap on. So it's easy access to get the machine on or off. Now, if it is on a patient, let me take this off, and you want to get it off quickly, you can just kind of unsnap it that way. Or you can, and then lift it up. That's why the ball is there. So it's a movable joint. And that is the setup for the adults. Now, if we're moving to the children, it's the same setup. It just is going to change with the mask size. So now we have something called a mini. Here's your strap. Here's a strap that goes over the child's head. And here is so basically vents, there's an exhalation valve, which is basically what this does. It's just vented. And this just goes over, I mean, my nose is too big obviously, but this goes over the baby's nose, like that. And you have to, it comes through and you can loop it up in to the patient. This goes over the head, and then these two straps come around and they go through the nose piece. So it's kind of like a cap that goes over the head. Okay? And that is a mini-me. So those are the two masks. The mini-me's come in different sizes, as well as the adult full face masks. They come in different sizes. This is a large, they come in small and medium. And those are the mainstays for our BiPAP and CPAP for adults and kids. The last part of the setup is the heated wire. We want to heat this, so we have our heated wire, which we use, same as on the ventilators, the same as the vents. You have a port right here, which I just put, and it fits directly in, clips in place. You'll see it's like a little puzzle piece. It fits right in there. And what's that doing? It's measuring the temperature here, and then we measure the temperature at the distal end of the tubing, same as we do with the other pieces of equipment, and the other port goes here. So we're measuring the temperature in two spots, so it's a nice even temperature. And this is your adult BiPAP setup. So air comes in through the machine, filtered down into the humidification chamber and humidified to the patient, exhaled through the passive exhalation valve. Now, of course, just a reminder, to humidify, you have to, of course, have a water source. So you always use your sterile water bag. You spike it at the bottom of the bag through the spike. There's a port right here, and you just hang this in. It'll gravity feed the water to the heater, and then it gets humidified to the patient. So this is our humidifier. Now with our humidifier, there's this thing called a pigtail, because it's got two little tails, and we want to make sure that the pigtail, it's basically what generates the electricity to make the heat. So you see on the back of the tubing, you'll see it's got kind of like a star there, and that one has the same shape. You just plug that in. Okay. So this is basically this is our heater for our humidifier. You plug it in. It's got a normal AC plug from behind. Make sure it's plugged in. If it doesn't turn on, that's probably the issue. You have your on and off switch. Now, directly above the on and off switch, you'll see there is an invasive with an ET tube and a non-invasive. If you want to switch from one to the other, you just hold the button down for a couple seconds, and then it'll beep. So since this is non-invasive, we keep it at non-invasive, which keeps the temperature at about 32. If it starts alarming, that's your alarm silence right there. And this again is your on and off. Now, this particular unit, because it's a single circuit, only runs off one of the wires. So the second one, this is for people on vents. Color coordinated, yellow, blue to blue, so you can't, it won't let you fit a piece in either way. Now we're gonna go over turning the machine on, how we set the machine up. So first, in the back of the machine, there's an oxygen hose. It goes to a 50 PSI. It doesn't, if it's a flow meter, it's a 50 PSI port to run this machine. There's also on the back a plug, which is guarded so it can't come out. This is the adapter. It's just a regular AC adapter that runs the actual machine. So you'll notice when the machine, it will be lit up in the front, okay? This is, it's just saying it's the battery's charging, because it does have a battery that lasts about 30 minutes if it were to be unplugged. And this is the on and off switch right here. Okay, so the machine fires up. Okay, this is the main screen you see. So right now we are in active ST mode. So we're gonna change the mode. So actually let's put it in standby. So if you put the machine in standby, it does this automatically. So everybody, please be aware that if it's in this mode, it's disabled. The machine is in standby. So make sure that if you're gonna put the patient on, you take it off standby, because this may be deceptive in a sense that you see a screen, but it's not necessarily, the machine's not doing its function. It's just sitting there in standby. All right, so there's two ways to do this. If you put the patient on a mask, they can actually trigger it, or you can just hit restart to ST mode. So now this is what you want to see. You want to see a blue screen. You want to see your tidal volume. You want to see your liters per minute. You want to see your pressure. Of course, this is ST, which means spontaneous and timed, so that it's patient initiated. So that's why it's going to alarm. If I were on this machine, it wouldn't alarm. So, a lot of air. So this is, we have the BiPAP set. These are your different settings. So you have your BiPAP here set at 18. Usually I'd say 10 and 5 is like a normal setting for someone who's just kind of on BiPAP at night. So you have your BiPAP, your EPAP. We have our O2 set at 35. You can go up, you can go down. Just remember, you've got to hit accept. You've got to hit accept in order. Your I time's usually 0.9. The rise is, which means how fast the air goes up into the patient. We usually set that at about 0.3. There is a backup rate, even though this machine is spontaneous in time. So we keep that, around 20. It's alarming because there's no patient on it. So that's why it keeps alarming. So there's alarm settings is the next button. So you've got your high rate, you've got your low rate, which are probably the most important ones. And yeah, those are definitely the two most important ones. Then you have your modes. These are the modes. We have CPAP, okay, and we have CPAP, which is between CPAP and ST are our two most popular modes. You have spontaneous signs and CPAP. There are a couple others, but I don't think we're not gonna use those, especially at this time. So we just will focus on the CPAP and spontaneous in the time. So you have ST and you have CPAP. There's pressure control and AVAPs, but we're not gonna mess with those. And then you have, of course, standby. Now, when you hit the station standby, like we saw before, it goes into a different screen. And there's, like I said, there's two ways. You can start the machine yourself, or if you put the mask on a patient, like this is myself, you'll notice I was able to trigger the machine to start. So those are the two ways. So those are the two different ways to do it. I personally would prefer if we just started it ourselves. I think that would be the safer way to do it. But make sure if your screen is blue, then you're good.